Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Velvet and Kapow bringing you an awesome replay between Czech Prime and NC Yellow. We've got NC Yellow spawning as the red Terran at the top, and Czech Prime spawning as the certain colour Zerg. I can't tell because my graphics are so terrible. This is a World Cup game. The quarterfinals, I believe. NC Yellow also, I believe, is OGS Slayer Boxer, who I haven't seen much of his play before, and looking forward to seeing some of his Terran strats. Czech Prime also, I'd like to mention, is one of the best Zerg players I've seen around. I mean, we've seen Idra, Sen, most of the well-known guys in the Western community, but Czech Prime is really just, some of his strategies are just so creative and everything, and I just love his style of play for Zerg. It's not just the regular macro boredom that we usually see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've just seen in the last few months, as the beta's been going, the StarCraft 2 scene has just exploded in the West, right? Especially in North America. And one thing I'm really excited for is that as more and more of these unseen players come up through tournaments like this, and through the little tournaments that are run, in BattleNet, we're just going to see so many new underrated players come up as dark horses and bring new and exciting and innovative strategies to the scene, which is just absolutely fantastic. And I'm totally stoked to see the incredible players that are going to come out of this.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, it's not going to just be a set 8 players that are the set pros. I mean, there's going to be over 50, 60 world top tier players, and there's going to be a huge battle for the number one player title, I believe, man. We've got quite an awesome replay coming up here. We've got Czech here now doing his spawning pool on 15, building his 16th drone, and now sending it out for the expansion. We've got up in the top, we've got the Terran now, NC Yellow, taking his second refinery, which only can mean factory into mech play, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Terran players get their gas going this early, it usually means that they're going to be getting their factory very soon after their barracks.
Yeah.
And going for some kind of heavy gas play, as you mentioned.
We've got.
So I'm interested to see what it's going to come up with.
Yep, we've got Czech now not opting for any gas, so we're not going to see any speedlings real early. I think he's going to be focusing mainly on getting those minerals to help defend him, at his natural here. Getting the Queen, we're going to see several spine crawlers, a lot of Zerglings, and really going to help him, boost up that macro play.
Yeah, something that a lot of Zerg players can really take advantage of is getting that second hatchery early. It's not just a dead weight, and it's not just something to harvest minerals from. Also, you just get twice the lava production.
Exactly.
And that can be so instrumental in having this surge of units to hold off an attack.
Exactly.
Giving you a lot of freedom to play around with your drone production as well.
It's not as hard to defend as some people may seem. I mean, I have a lot of problem defending this natural expansion versus, two-gating Protosses and stuff in the beta I found. But watching these pros, I mean, it seems like defending this natural and, surviving early game, it just comes so easy to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're at that level, that's something that you can really get a feel for.
Yeah. We've got now NC Yellow. The thing is also, Czech hasn't seen up in his base. If we have a look, he hasn't seen anything going up. He's just seen now the tech lab with the reactor going on. He's getting a Hellion and a siege tank out now. Probably going to be seeing siege tech soon. Getting his starport now for either Vikings or Medvacs, for the drop up here, and it's really going to... Czech now putting his spine crawler just far to the right. He must know a lot about this NC Yellow player now, just preparing for the ledge drop here with the siege tanks.
Yeah, and seeing that factory with a tech lab coming up that quickly, it's possible he could have intuited that Yellow built the tech lab on the barracks, lifted the barracks off, and then placed the factory on the tech lab.
Yeah.
Which is just a way to get that tech lab on the barracks really quickly and start pumping out siege tanks.
Exactly.
And if we look at Czech's viewpoint, he can also see that there's some kind of building being warped in, built even.
Yeah, at the top there.
So his game sense is probably just tingling away, going, there's something funny going on here,
Moving his spine crawler now way over to the right. He's very nervous about this ledge here, as he knows most Terrans are really going to take so much advantage of it. We see now a Medvac moving out with 2 SCVs, 1 Marine and 1 Siege Tank. Siege Tech is nearly done, I believe. We've got yes, it's just about to complete. He's going to be able to plant this tank straight up here on this ledge and really just go to town on Czech's natural. We're going to see how he's got an whatever fucking smart strategy to deal with this type of play here. We're going to see. I mean, this happens to me so much in my beta play, and my god, did I not know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a player like Czech, who's obviously got it all sorted out, that amount of experience is really important. Having obviously suffered to this build many times, he knows what's up, man. And I really like how he's got all his overlords just hanging out at his natural expansion, ready to kind of take a peek up there. And look at this, fantastic play from Czech, getting those extra 2 queens out so that he has units that are capable of firing up at that ledge.
Exactly, and this spine crawler now going to town on this missile turret, but the thing is, this tank is placed so far back with the vision, he's not going to be able to hit it at all, and I think he's going to lose his natural here. I mean, the only way you can look at this, Nidus Worm going straight up in the middle of his base, really just going, I think I'm going to leave this expansion here. Now mining off the very left side, so no tanks can really get at his workers. He's still running off 1.5 bases here, producing mass roaches, and I think we're going to be seeing some awesome Nidus Worm play up here.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And if you look up at the very edges of Yellow's base, there's that Overlord that's been hanging out there from the beginning of the game, giving him sight of that ledge. And right now, there's a Nidus Worm going to be poking its beak up there. And look at this.
It's such an awesome strategy. I mean, he's just gone, well, look at NC Yellow. I mean, he has 2 siege tanks. Back at his base, he has absolutely no units. Czech really just knowing what he can do and how to counter this annoying strat by NC Yellow. Zergling's now pouring straight into the base, heading straight for the mineral line. Several roaches popping out. I mean, what can NC Yellow really do to defend versus this? He's taking out anything he can get his grubby little hands on.
Absolutely, and those siege tanks and the medevacs at the back that were harassing that natural expansion, they can't do a damn thing against this push that's right right inside Yellow's base.
A Thor now popping out for NC Yellow, but I mean, he's only got 1 Thor to defend versus this many roaches and zerglings. The SCV's now swarming that Thor, trying to keep him alive, but it's just not going to happen. His command center now floating away for his dear life. Also, I'd like to make note, he has an expansion hopping up here over now at the 9 o'clock position, just in case his base was going to get pushed by those siege tanks. Loading up more zerglings into that.
Fantastic player.
Exactly.
Just taking the time to expand at the same time as you're pushing into your opponent's base. Because, let's be honest, Yellow is not thinking about hunting down expansions right now. He's concerned with just staying the hell alive.
Exactly. He's really fending for dear life. He has absolutely no SCVs alive, and I think he's going to be able to have to call it GG here soon. He's got his Thor and a siege tank, and as soon as he loses these, I think he's just going to give up. I mean, no SCVs, command center floating around now, really just, what can I do? This is just, I'd like to just talk about how just such an amazing counter attack and counter play this really is working on. I mean, he lost that natural and there was absolutely no way he could do to, reclaim it and defend it. I mean, I've seen several players prepare for this certain situation to get the Overlord drop, the Overlord speed and everything, but Czech not having any of that, just going, I know how I can defeat this strategy, and Nidus worming straight in the back of poor Yellow's base.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something to really think about in your own games, about improving, is that when something like this happens and you've got siege tanks raining down fiery death on your expansion and your drones, just, calm down. Just don't freak out, because,
there's so many situations. I mean, if you know in your head you cannot defend this natural, don't sacrifice every single thing you have into cannons firing off into the distance at your poor roaches. I mean, really think about